Hello, I'm Jay, owner of Volunteer Audio in Oliver Springs, Tennessee, and today I'm making a video to go over the Soundstream Reserve radios for your 2014 to 2024 Harley Davidson Touring models. We're going to look at all three of the current models, and I'm going to tell you about the different features and what you get as you pay more as we move up through this product lineup. So let's start with the latest radio. That would be the WHD14 Plus. Now this is going to be the most basic model, but by no means is it basic. So let's start with the features. First off, it's going to be fully weatherproof. It's going to have an IPX5 marine rating, and it is fully sealed. So we're not going to have to worry about riding through rain or washing the bike. Our radio is going to continue to work day in and day out. But on top of that, it's got a QLED high-resolution display. So this is going to be very bright, very vibrant, and easy to see while riding down the road. This is one of the brightest displays available in any aftermarket radio for Harley Davidson. It's also going to have the latest in wireless connectivity. So this is going to have built-in wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Along with that, it's going to use a new Bluetooth 5.0 chip. That is the Bluetooth that we would want to see anytime we're using Wi-Fi at the same time, which wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto use both your Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to display the apps on screen completely wirelessly. This radio is also going to have a 13-band EQ built in. So no longer are you going to have to go back to your Harley dealership or get a techno research tool and flash that stock radio. This radio is ready for aftermarket amps and speakers and gives you more than enough control to make it sound how you want it to sound. Now, along with that, we also have an upgraded RCA pre-out section over the previous models. It does have a 5-volt front, rear, and subwoofer output. And inside the audio settings menu, you have full control over the filters for each one of these. So front and rear have independent high pass and low pass filters, and the subwoofer is going to have low pass and band pass filters, along with full sound control over volume of the subwoofer if you were to add a sub. This radio is going to continue to have the backup camera input, like the 14 Plus radio its predecessor had, and it's going to have basic thumb controls the way it comes shipped. So the way it comes, you're going to have a thumb control module that will not only turn the radio on, but it's also going to be able to do basic functionality such as track forward and backwards, seek, which is going to be seek forward and seek backwards, volume up and down, source change, mute, but it will not scroll through Apple CarPlay sources or across menus in the radio. With that being said, in the future, there will be what they call an unlock kit available at an additional charge that will upgrade this radio to the ability to use an iDataLink Maestro module, which will give you far advanced thumb controls at that point. Now that also, we need to talk about factory amplifiers, because the way it comes shipped with the basic thumb control module, it will not retain factory boom stage 1 or boom stage 2 amps. If you later buy the unlock kit, it would be able to maintain those at that time. So for now, until that's available, I would not recommend the WHD14 Plus for your CVO models that are using factory amplifiers, because you won't have sound. The way the radio comes with the basic thumb control module, you're also not going to be displaying any gauges or motorcycle info on screen. With the addition of the unlock module, it would add those iDataLink Maestro gauges and motorcycle info such as tire pressure monitors, EITMS status, oil pressure, battery voltage, and even check engine light status on screen. Very similar to what you see now in the SI and V2 models. But the basic radio, the way it comes, is not going to do those without buying a future unlock tool. But seems like a very good idea. You can start off with a basic radio, comes with the module that's needed to be that way, and later if you decided you wanted to move up to the more expensive model radio, instead of buying a whole new radio, you're going to be able to buy an unlock kit and add these features. I think it's a brilliant idea, and it's going to limit the number of SKUs that have to be at your local dealer or Soundstream dealer, or that we're going to have to stock on our shelves to make sure that you have that future upgradability without having to buy a whole new radio. Now let's move into the HDHU14Si. So this radio has been phenomenal. It's been out now for probably going on close to 2 years. And it was our first radio that had the ability to do the iDataLink Maestro module. And that's how it's going to come if you order one now. You're going to have those advanced thumb controls right out of the box and retention of the factory amps. But let's look at what features really differ between the two radios. So the WHD14 Plus has that high resolution QLCD display. We still have a very good resolution, but a more basic display on the SI model. When it comes to our EQ, they're both going to have a 13-band EQ. They're going to have very similar RCA pre-out sections, and they're both going to have very similar internal amplifiers because the latest SI does have that upgraded 5-volt RCA pre-out section. That was a running change that was added later to make it more likely to work with those common ground amplifiers without any noises being introduced from that amp. Also, the SI model currently has, as we just spoke about, that motorcycle information. The custom gauges can be displayed on screen, and we're going to have the ability to retain those factory amplifiers all through that iDataLink Maestro, either the MRR or MRR2 interface. Now, the SI radio does have wired Apple CarPlay and wired Android Auto. It does not have built-in wireless, but until the end of its life, it looks like it's going to continue to ship with a free wireless adapter. So that feature is included and added with it, but it is an external module that just plugs into the factory USB port. Very easy to do and works very, very well. Also, one of the add-on features that you have on the SI model that you don't have on that 14 Plus model is the ability to do Sirius XM with a standalone tuner. Now, both radios can do Sirius XM as an app through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, whereas the SI, you can purchase an SXV300 standalone Sirius XM tuner. Currently, they're free on the current promotion when you buy an SI, but even if you had to purchase one, it's a good feature to be able to add on. So if you do not have cell service, you would still have Sirius XM. Now, if you decide to use the Sirius XM app, I will tell you the quality of sound and the volume is louder in the app, and it is normally free if you've got a Sirius XM tuner in any other vehicle to use that application. Now let's move on to the V2 because there's a lot of differences between the V2 radio. In reality, every single part of this radio has been upgraded to be a step up over the previous models, and there's a lot of features it has that no other radio on the market can currently do or had done before. Let's start with the display. So our V2 radio is going to have an 8.3-inch edge-to-edge QLCD display. So this is a high-definition display with a 1000 nit brightness. Very bright, very large, just a beautiful radio with a very, very fast boot time. So it starts up very, very quickly, showing you that beautiful display. It also has wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto built in, but on top of that, they've added now the ability for wireless headsets. So the previous models, the WHD14 Plus and the HDHU14Si, they cannot do headsets in any manner. Not wired, not wireless. Whereas the V2 does do any of your wireless headsets, whether that be Cardo, Sena, or even basic in-ear Bluetooth devices. Now this is going to be wireless headsets only. It will not support wired headsets, but the future's here. Wireless is the future. You need your wireless headsets. If you haven't made that purchase, this radio will allow you to do it without having to go back to Harley and buy a WIM or flash anything. It's all built into the radio. Very, very awesome feature, and it's included in the V2. Now, one other wireless feature it has that previous radios cannot do is a feature called rally mode. So you can actually set your radio as DJ or listener, and you can actually do that on anybody else with a V2 can set theirs as listener if you're the DJ, for example, and any music you're playing is going to be transmitted to their radio, and you can play the same music at the same time. So now you can ride into bike night with your favorite song playing on all your bikes together. So very, very cool feature. That's going to be if you have multiple V2 radios or any radio with that V2 technology in it as time goes on. All right, so the other thing, we have a much larger internal amp. So it has a 400 watt, 2 ohm stable Class D amp built in to the V2 radio, as well as those 5-volt RCA pre-outs. On top of that, we still have front, rear, and sub independent crossovers, level control over our subwoofer, along with our phase of our sub. Just so much awesome control, and a 15-band EQ built in. So it does have a 15-band where the previous models only have a 13-band. Now let's talk about thumb controls because that's another huge improvement on the V2. It does use the iDataLink Maestro module for advanced thumb controls, but the big part is it not only does cursor control inside of Apple CarPlay and Android Auto screens, it will use cursor control through all the menus, the FM tuner, and most of the sources in the radio will have full function through cursor control, meaning you're going to use the right joystick on your thumb controls and you're going to just select across the page different options. This is going to allow you to do things like go from Apple Music over to Google Maps, or be able to actually select a different favorite on your FM stations, or go into the EQ and make adjustments. All these things can be done without touching the screen. It is the most advanced thumb controls of any radio we've had yet in the Harley world. Now, all three models were IPX Marine rated, so I don't want you to get confused and think it's only the first one. They're all plug and play with factory style harnessing that plugs directly into your thumb control module and into the back of the radio for very, very easy install. And when you buy any of these radios from Volunteer Audio, they're going to ship fully up to date as far as current software. And if you've got an iData Link Maestro module, it's going to be programmed for the bike. So it's going to be a very simple install for you. Now, the V2 just continues to add more features. One of the additional ones it has is built-in navigation. So it has iGo navigation on hand, so you do not have to use navigation from your phone. I will tell you, your phone nav is always going to be up to date. It's going to take into account live traffic, and with the ability to do that wireless, it's going to work fabulous. Now, both the WHD14 Plus and the V2 are going to have a GPS satellite antenna input on the back. So even if you run out of cell service, as long as you've already started your map, whether it be Apple Maps, Google Maps, or Waze, it's going to continue to see your location through that GPS antenna. And with the V2, it's going to use it for the integrated built-in nav as well. So even if you're without service and you haven't started your maps, you can use the built-in iGo nav to get you out of that spot back into somewhere where you have service again. All three of these radios have their place. They all three have a great feature set for their price point. And with the ability to add this new unlock kit, this WHD14 Plus is going to have the ability to expand with you over time. And even if you bought the lower cost model, you're going to be able to add many of these features you want as time goes on without buying a new radio. The V2 radio is so feature packed, I can't think of anything that it doesn't do that we would want to add. And as time goes on, they keep making it better and better with software updates and things that they keep adding to it. It's just a phenomenal radio, and I've never seen a radio like it. From the screen clarity, the size, the internal amplifier, and the pre-outs, it's the best sounding radio, the best looking radio, and the fastest radio we've had for a Harley to date. Amazing radios from Soundstream. All three of these are available at volunteeraudio.com. Click the link above to find out more, to find each one of those radios on our website. There you'll be able to see pricing. We're not allowed to share pricing through YouTube videos or on Facebook. You do have to go to the site to see pricing. But if you have more questions, things you want answered, comment below in the comment section. We will definitely answer those questions, or give our knowledgeable sales staff a call at 1-844-30-AUDIO, or click that link, go to the radios, and check out more about it. They're in the description. All three of these radios are currently available and in stock at Volunteer Audio. And when you buy from us, you're going to get the latest software updates. You're going to get free shipping, and you're going to get free lifetime tech support. We have amazing step-by-step install videos to help you do this install yourself. But if you get stuck, if you got a question, you can call and talk to one of our awesome technicians at 1-844-30-AUDIO simply by selecting tech support. Like this video. By doing so, it's going to move us up in search results. It's going to help us, and it's free to you. And make sure you subscribe to Volunteer Audio on YouTube and follow us on Facebook for the latest in Harley audio as it comes out. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, God bless.